Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Game and we're returning to Let's Play of Iran and the US, where as the US we are striking against Iranian installations. Now, I want to bring you up to speed what has been done, but before that I want to say I'm very excited about this strike because it's going to be a big one, and we do have a new toy that I did not see last time and that I want to show you. So let's go into that in a second. Before that, again, I want to bring you up to speed. So not much happened. It's been about 8 hours since our last episode. There was a little bit of air traffic up here, but not really too much. So what really happened is I did send an F-35 down this coast just to scoot out and maybe find some high value target. And up over here we were finding a couple of radar installations. I think we've seen them earlier at some point. But it turns out they were relatively unguarded, so what I did was launch a couple of Tomahawks down over Dubai and then sort of turning in north here. And they were spotted by Iranian ground radar installations, I think around over here, as they are crossing the coast. And that did mean the Iranians did scramble a couple of planes, so we were able to bring back our F-35 towards that, shoot down one of these planes, and sort of engage the other one in a very interesting pattern where the other one was trying to follow us as we are withdrawing our F-35. They were following us, turning away from the Tomahawks. And there was a chase mostly around up till over here when our Combat Air Patrol did come around, did try to engage them, and that drove them off. So that was very interesting because it was such a nice chase, and the Tomahawks themselves, of course, did make it through, and they did strike at the radar installations up over here. So I think they are gone, which is fairly fantastic for us. Nevertheless, let's get to the strike at hand and what we can do about that. So, we have a good number of planes that we have assembled over here. They're mostly in a couple of strike groups. There is that one, that's the biggest one, 20 F-18Fs, Super Hornets, with about 80 missiles. Then we've got Seed-1, another 7 aircraft with 28 missiles, and then that 2, just 4 aircraft with 8 missiles. So all in all, around 116 missiles or so that we will have ready to send at the enemy ground defenses in what, like 30, 40, yeah, well, 30 or so aircraft. A little bit more than 30. We have a little bit of air cover. We have 2 groups of 2 fighters each. Super Hornets, F and E, so double-seater and single-seater variants. No, wait a minute. You're not that. You are air cover. Okay, no, just the single-seaters over here. So quite a couple of missiles that these guys are carrying, so they will be trying to cover our approach from enemy air attacks. And then we do have a couple of jamming aircrafts, these Growlers, that will be taking on a position sort of over here along the southern coast, so to confuse their air defenses. We also got some other very interesting thing, and that is, we of course are mixing this in with a couple of F-35s as a force multiplier. But the one that I want to talk about this is this loadout over here of the Super Hornets, because this is indeed carrying the tactical air-launched decoy. Something that you guys requested whether we had, and I actually thought we did not have that. But we do have it, and it is capable, and it is ready to be used. So these guys are basically decoys that we will launch over the enemy air defenses and hope to confuse their systems quite a bit. So that is going to be interesting, and of course other than that we do have a couple of JSAWs. So these guys do have standoff weaponry. These bomblets over here, you can see these are dual purpose anti-tank stuff. So they will be try to come in a little bit closer and destroy various things. And then we should have distance air cover, so a couple of Super Tomcats. I did launch another group of 2 because these guys are extremely useful against the very modern Russian MiG-35s that we have certainly seen flying around. So, without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the strike that we want to plan over here. So, last time in our last strike we did strike at the Russian airbase itself. It is still have an enormous amount of anti-air systems, as you can see over here, but most of them are not quite as dangerous as some of the other systems that we've seen. So, the very interesting ones that we've seen are the S-400s. The S-400s are gone over here, so they don't have the range now. It's mostly short-range stuff that's left over here. You can see basically it's sort of covering the airbase itself, but it doesn't reach down towards over here. So that is a very big change and very good win for us. But what should we do next? Now, obviously, at some point we need to strike at this entire complex over here. And while we've done good damage here on the right side, I think it's not wise to come around this way, because still all of this short range stuff will hinder our ability to fly over this area, and I would just like to strike at this part over here. So our objective for today is going to be this island. I think it's called Kim or Kashim Island. Heavily militarized Iranian airbase, and does have these surface-to-surface missile batteries. So these are very dangerous towards our ships, and that is something that we want to strike at, while also taking out, this time slightly differently, we are also going to take out these short-range stuff, these Tors, and whatever else they've got. Gauntlets, that's a Tor. Do you think they had other systems here? Well, Gadflies or something. Yeah, Geckos at least. Right, so I want to take out all of this short-range stuff, because sooner or later we will have to take this short-range, these surface-to-surface missiles, and we just want to be able to fly over here a little bit more consistently, and take this southern approach then to ultimately, of course, attack this concentration of enemy forces up here. There are also a couple of S-400s in here. You can see mostly these guys where it's 13 or 17 missiles. These are very dangerous towards us. So that is definitely something that we need to take out at some point, but not right now. For now we are concentrating our attack on this part here, and I do also want to strike a little bit here towards Bandar Lagesh Airport on this sort of southern tip over here. Yeah, so that is what we want to strike over here with our package. So let's try to talk about how we are going to do that, and for that I'm going to briefly switch to the view relief layer over here, because I want to make sure that we are not taking too much casualties as we actually did in one of our last strikes. Not the last one was okay, but what I want to do is I want to fly in over here relatively low, come in via these mountains that are hopefully going to load, and that's a funny thing over here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, going to sort of cross over like that, and then gonna take this mountain range here, pop up over the ridge line over here, send out our missiles at these various air installations. That's about a distance of 50 miles or so. We should be able to engage them at 70 miles. I'm fairly hopeful that we'll be able to reach sort of everything from over here. Gonna launch all of them, then gonna turn around immediately and gonna egress on the same path. So just flying around over here, then along the coastline, and then of course back to our carriers. So that's the overall plan, and that's not true for all aircraft. We also have the ECMs that are going to take over positions sort of higher up in altitude along this line here, basically so that all of their radar installations have a harder time spotting into this direction at all. Probably we're going to shift them up a little bit, but these guys are going to be at high altitude, whereas everyone else is going to sort of come in at a much lower altitude. Except for, of course, the air cover, which I think we are going to keep at least one of the air covers a little bit towards the rear. So let's actually do that. I think you can go over here, whereas the first air cover is probably going to fly into at the same sort of path as all of the other guys. Where are you guys going? Actually, right over there. That's okay. Right, so yeah, let's get you over there as well. Right, and of course we do have these ITARs. These are a little bit ahead of everyone else so that they can launch their systems, and indeed what we're going to do is we're going to ask the first guy here to actually already launch the first system. We're doing that via a bearing only launch, so launch in a certain direction, and we want you to be over here. We're going to fire one of these decoys towards this airbase over here so that basically they can't detect us from this angle at all, and that would be immensely helpful, I think. By the way, yeah, okay, so, and I think the second one is going to be over here, but we do have some time. I think we can launch it from over here then into this direction. So, without further ado, I think we can go ahead and resume timing over here and actually get all of these guys here. So primarily my strike package, that one, seat one. Come on, can I select all of you? So that's, you guys are you three are the strike package. These three groups. It's not all aircrafts yet, but they are soon gonna start and launch all of them, and so basically they should be ready relatively soon. Right, let's try to find a way that is following sort of this wadi over here. Yeah, I think that is going to be a great flight path over here. From this altitude onwards, I think we want to go minimum altitude and terrain following. And that should actually be okay. Right, yes. They're going, for now they're just on loitering speed, which I think is fine, specifically because these guys here, as you can see, they're still planes starting, launching. There's another long-range distance air cover, which is great. How did we call you? I think just long-range air cover, didn't we? Distance air cover. Okay, so let's call you distance air cover number 2. That's going to be alright. Good. There you can see, this is the decoy. You can see it's also actually modeled as a plane over here, which is interesting to see. Huh, curious. Do you have any sensors? None that we can use, so that's okay. Let's actually go back to the normal view, so without relief layer. So you're all going to fly over there. That is fantastic. We've got another flight over here. Oh, okay, so you guys are also ready. That's fantastic. So it's actually more than 116 missiles then. I thought I was stupid, because I did count at some point, and then I was just... okay, come on, let's see whether we can follow that manually. Yeah, there we go. Okay, you are also going fast. Well, that's okay. And over here I want you to be minimum altitude. Okay, fine, fantastic. So instead of 116 missiles, we actually have 140, which is fantastic. Good stuff. Yeah, and you're flying ahead a little bit faster now, which is okay. And you're going to be seat number 2. Because you are carrying the Harm missile and not the slightly more modern one. But that is alright. Good. You guys have all launched now, I believe. Yeah, as far as I can tell, you're all losing some fuel. We do also have in our task force over here one more aircraft that I want to probably launch at some point, and that is, I think, up here somewhere. No, it isn't an F variant, really. Yeah, so we've got, you know, that does make sense. It's a dual seater. Okay, yeah, we do have one configured tanker that can do body refueling. It's not super efficient, but we just want to launch it just so that if there's anything at any point where these guys probably want to come back or anything, we can do that and bring them back home basically just by launching that. Right, let's also double check. I do think we have an eyeball over here. Yes, we do. So these guys are just basically Hawkeyes. We're going to position them slightly towards the rear. And I do think we can actually already turn on your radar just so that we have slightly better coverage over here and know what is going on. Right, so we've got an F-35 going up there. So, you know what? One more thing that we can potentially do is do a strike here with one of our Tomahawks against these installations up here and potentially against this surface-to-air installation. Let's send a single Tomahawk this way. I think that's going to be alright. And let's potentially... Yeah, there we go. It is already flying. Let's grab you. Damn it. And you have allocated your first waypoint just immediately next to you, so that's not great. And nevertheless, the fact that this is flying there should maybe give them a little pause there, and that could be alright. Look at that. We are seeing a lot of aircraft being launched on their side, so that is something that we need to be mindful about. I want you to do another bearing only launch so that we can send another fake aircraft towards over here. I'm not sure whether the enemy will actually try to shoot them down. That might well be possible, but we are going to have to see. Right, let's try to bring you a little bit towards the left side over here as these guys are coming in. Yeah, it looks like they are on an intercept path over here, so that's interesting. They are actually trying to shoot down these aircraft. And you're traveling at 400 knots, so you're slightly slower than our typical normal aircraft, so to say. Interesting. Right, everyone up here is okay. You know what, we can potentially do our combat air patrol a little bit closer to our carrier, actually. That wouldn't be too bad. Right, let's bring you over there. Come on, last waypoint. There we go. Fantastic, good. You're traveling decently fast, you are traveling decently fast, you guys are still a little bit slower, but that's okay. And then we've got ECM5 over here. You should actually do some jamming, please. There's a surface-to-air missile over there. Right. That's probably aimed against you. That didn't go as intended. Right, let's try to get you lower and out of danger a little bit. Like such. Well... Okay, let's try to get you into the mountains. And you likewise can potentially retire into this direction here. So, let's resume over here. Surface-to-air missiles going this way. Yes, of course, it's always multiple ones. No, they might actually be coming towards the idled over here. Cool. That's nice. Yeah, okay, that was not directed at you, so you can maintain altitude. Ah, but we don't know. Just look at that! How many missiles are they actually launching? And you can see something over here is also already firing. This guy does have fire control of that system that we are seeing. And look at all of these missiles here as well. So they are definitively going for these decoys. Which is good to see for us, I suppose. Right, question is, do we want to bring you in? Oh, by the way, do notice that we've spotted 2 submarines here that at the time were surfaced and that we are seeing over here now. Now, I think it would be not the worst idea for at least one of our F-35s here. Our other air groups are not yet ready. So I think you're going to come up over here. And you're going to engage this MiG-29 with a single missile here. There we go. Yeah, lots and lots of missiles mostly directed at this decoy, which is definitely just gonna be killed immediately. But it's still nice to see that they're expending so much ammunition on that. So that is good. Question is, are these guys going to fly over here and going to get a couple of accidental kills or something? Well, that would be kind of funny, but kind of crummy as well. Look at all these missiles that they are shooting up over here. Okay, this MiG-29 is at least being engaged by this AIM-120D Delta. Then we've got another MiG-29 up there in the air, a flanker over here. You might as well be retiring for now. This is really funny. Just the amount of ammunition that they are expending there. I mean, this could easily be exploited, but I don't think that would be particularly fun. Okay, let's allocate a missile towards each of you. And I do actually think that we probably want to get a couple of more bulldogs here in the air. So let's at least launch 2. Nice, we did score a hit there, so that is good. Single aircraft down. Of course, they can launch always more, but still, I think that's okay. So you, can I actually ask you to go into a different direction? No, I cannot. Okay, that's fine. Notice that this time this guy does not need... Oh, there we are. Still, we do know that there's a contact over here, Goblin. So, submarine contact. There's a flank over there. This is definitely hostile, Sam. Come on, come on. Yes, good hit there. Come on, come on, come on. Ah, don't. Okay, that would have been nice. But yeah, let's try to score another hit over here. I do not want you to return to base right now. I want you to maintain the target lock here. But don't go on too high speed. Just close in gradually over here. Yeah, so I do think we need more air cover over here. Let's try to get you towards the front here. You guys are still flying somewhat faster than all of the other ones, which is good. Nice hit over there. Now you can return home So please do return to base, since you're out of ammunition anyway. Good. Okay, we've got another MiG-29 over there, but I think maybe one of our air cover guys can deal with that. Interestingly enough, this decoy here just doesn't seem to be engaged quite as heavily. I do not know why. Isn't that curious? And I thought you'd be jamming, but apparently you aren't. Active RF. I thought that would indicate... No. Okay, yeah. No, you don't. You're just a passive decoy. That's okay. Tomahawk is going to engage over there, if at all possible. Right, let's try to fly you this way. Resume time over here, because apparently that was not a thing. Right, you're coming home relatively fast over there. Let's grab Bulldog 4 over here, bring you up there, and Bulldog 7 can come over there, I think. You guys can be relatively independent of all of the other ones. Yeah. You guys are all flying somewhat high, but I think that's going to be alright, because again, as we are bringing in the air cover over there. You're actually very slow, that's why you're not making your way there. Okay, fine. Right, so let's make sure to engage you with at least 2 missiles. Let's say 1 per Super Hornet. Which should give us a little bit better fuel consumption as well. Right, you guys are all coming in there, and then you're going to fly very low, which is going to be extremely appreciated. Guess we can bring you up a little bit more to the north here. Great. Good. So, yeah, you can theoretically engage already. And you might engage sooner rather than later. So, actually, let's go ahead and then turn on our radar systems. There we go. Radars engaged. Missiles being shot away. That's good. I'm not seeing any surface-to-air missiles yet. But that might change very quickly. Also, not that many other aircrafts in the air right now. So, let's see what we can do against this single gentleman over here. Okay, he has noticed the missiles and he's trying to fly away. There's a target lock, but both of these have missed. But there are 2 more missiles. Where those came from? And apparently you are engaging against this. So again, the update here just did not result in a decent selection of targets here. Just didn't work out that way. There we go. That was a good hit though. So we can come over here, I suppose. Try to shoot him down. Wouldn't necessarily like to do that. Don't want to get sucked in too close. But I suppose what we can do is just go on loiter speed. Just go sort of his direction, turn off our radar systems. And just make sure to go in that direction without necessarily taking him out. Good. Okay, so far so good. I think what we want to do then is... That's the Bulldog, that's returning. Let's select idled 2. Yeah, why not? And you are going to send a bearing only launch again in this direction. So I want to find out whether they're going to fire an enormous amount of missiles on that decoy as well. Okay, apparently you are right over there, so let's bring forward our jamming aircrafts just a little bit to make sure that we are engaging over there. And actually, what I would also like to see is, did we have the idled? Where are our JSOLs? Okay, JSOL 1 is down here. And these guys will need to launch a little bit earlier because the JSOLs themselves are extremely slow. So let's try to bring you over there on actually cruise speed, please. And then you can also come up a little bit towards the north. And then where's JSOL 2? There. Okay, so you need to come up over here. You can sort of fly over here, but you'll need to make your way much closer. Like over here, I think. Your range is about 45 miles, so 45, okay. So maybe over here would be actually sufficient. Well, let's say if we want to engage this, then yeah, from there should be okay. So don't need to go quite as far. But I definitely want you to be minimum ground following and cruise speed. Right, there we go. You guys are coming in there, that's lovely to see. But I do think we want to ask you also to very soon take cruise speed. Let's go loitering for now. Let's give this JSOL a little bit of a head start. You can potentially go cruise speed just until you're catching up basically with this sky. Right, there we go. You're not burning a lot of fuel, but you are coming in nicely. So yeah, that is looking good. But you know what? Ooh, look at this. There's one guy over there. He is trying to come in. So yes, we are going to try and engage you. Okay, it's a missile from each of these aircraft. Right, and that being said then, I think this is a very good place to put in a COD. So let me know what you think. Will we be successful over here? Very much hoping to find out. See you around next time, guys. Bye bye.